Hello! I'm here again for you to have our discussion or examples about multiplying rational algebraic expressions. So our four objectives are recall the steps on how to multiply rational numbers or fractions, which are your lessons on your grade 5, I think, and also grade 6 and grade 7. Then letter B, determine the steps on how to multiply rational algebraic expressions. So you should know the steps how you are going to multiply and multiply rational algebraic expression. So for our review, can you still remember how to multiply fractions? Try to answer this. Number 1, let us have 2 over 3 times 4 over 5. Okay? So what is the product of this? Correct. You have 8 over 15. Next, let us have 9 over 2 times 8 over 3. In this case, we can use cancellation before we are going to multiply since 9 and 3 have common factors. So we can cancel out or divide out the common factors. So we have divide 3 by 3, so it will become 1. And also with 8 and 4, or 8 and 2 rather, has the common factor, so we are going to cancel out or divide out the common factor 2, and then we will proceed with multiplication. On the first fraction, we have left with 3 over 1, and on the second fraction, we have left with 4 over 1. So you will now proceed with multiplication with 3 times 4 is equal to 12, and then 1 times 1 is 1, or simply 12 over 1 is 12. Okay? For the last example, let us have 5 over 21 times 14 over 25. So in this case, we have the common factor between 5 and 25. So we may cancel out 5. And also with 21 and 14, we have the common factor 7. So we are going to cancel out or divide out 7. On the first fraction, we have left with 1 over 3. And on the second fraction, we have left with 2 over 5. So then you will proceed with multiplication, numerator with the other numerator, and then denominator with the other denominator. So your answer here is 2 over 15. So what are the steps you have followed to arrive at the product of each of the given fractions? Okay, so if you haven't seen any common factor on the numerator and the denominator, so you just proceed with multiplication of the numerators followed by the multiplication of denominators, and then that will be your answer. But on the second and third example, we have seen common factors on the numerator and denominator, so therefore you can cancel out first the common factor, then you will proceed with multiplication of the remaining factors. Okay? Let us have now the rational algebraic expression. So we will now have the variables with exponents, so that we may say that this will be rational algebraic expression. So quotient of two polynomials. So in this case, you are going to apply simplifying of RAE, our previous topic last week, wherein you are going to find for the common factor not only on this fraction, on the first fraction or first RAE, but you can also find for the common factor on the other denominator or other fraction. So we have here this one. Since we have the common factor between 3 and 9, so I have here the color coding. So 3 and 9 have common factors since they are both red. And then also with the common variable here, we have here x, and then we have here x, and then we have here y, and then we have here also y. And then we have also the common factor between 10 and 2. So that's why they are both having the same color. So since they have common factors, so we are going to cancel out the common factors, and then the quotient will remain. So you have here, okay, cancel out. So we have left with, on the numerator, we have left with x cubed on the first numerator, and on the second numerator, we have left with 5. So that's why x cubed times 5 is 5x cubed. And then, on the first denominator, we have left with 1 since they have already cancelled out with a common factor. And then, on the second denominator, we have left with 3 and y to the 5th power here. So that's why your denominator is 3y to the 5th power. So therefore, our simplified form of the product of our first example is 5x cubed over 3y to the 5th power. Okay? For our next example, let us have 5x to the 4th power over 8x squared y squared times 8y to the 5th power over 15. So I have already here the color coding so that you can have your hint. You can have your clue on what are the common factors we have on our given RAE. So we have here 5 and 15. So 5 will become 1 and 15 will become 3. And then we have here x to the 4th divided by x squared. So this numerator will be x squared, and also cancel out the common factor 8. Then y to the 5th divided by y squared will become y cubed. That's why our answer here, the product here, is x squared y cubed over 3. Okay? So, our first two examples are having just monomials on the numerator and denominator. What if we are going to have some rational algebraic expressions in the form of binomial and trinomial? So, you have to remember these steps on how you are going to multiply algebraic expressions. So, the first one, or the first step, is factor each expression. So, that's why we have cancelled out already because we have found the common factors. So, you are going to divide out the common factors and then you are going to simplify and multiply. So, we only have these three steps on how you are going to multiply rational algebraic expression. So, let's follow those steps. So, let us have this one. We have 32 over b to the 4th power times 3b squared over 8. So, just watch. So, we have here to copy the given so that you can cancel out the common factor. Okay, so we have 32 by 8. So, 32 will become 4 and 8 will become 1. Then, on the variable, we have b squared on the numerator, b to the 4th power on the denominator. So, on the denominator, you will left with b squared. Okay? Then, multiply all the remaining factors. So, we have 4 times 3 is 12 over b squared times 1 is b squared. So, this is the answer in the first example. On the second one, so let's try 8x over 21y cubed times 7y squared over 16x cubed. So again, copy and then look for the common factor so that you can divide out the common factor, then simplify and multiply. So we have left here with 2 times x squared on the denominator, and in this terms, we have left with 3y on the denominator. Therefore, our product here is 1 over 6x squared y. Okay? How about if you are going to try on your own? Okay? So, I will give you 1 minute for you to have your answer here. Okay? So, let's say, for example, that you already have your 1 minute. So, your answer here will be, yes, you are going to cancel out 4 and 16, then x squared and x to the 5th power, and then 3 and 9. So, 3 will become 1, and then 9 will become 3. Therefore, you will obtain your answer by multiplying. So, your answer here will be 3 all over 4x cubed. Okay? Is there any question? So, for that, congratulations, you're good. So, keep it up. Okay? So, I have here some other examples, although it will not be recorded. So, I hope you will answer this, and this will serve as your practice so that on our next meeting, you are familiar on how you are going to multiply fractions with monomial given on the numerator and on the denominator. Okay? And because on the next meeting, we are going to have x squared minus y squared in the form of binomial, ang ating mga numerator and denominator. Okay? So, that's all for now. So, as I have said, practice. I do believe that practice makes perfect. So, you have to practice. You have to help yourselves on how you are going to cope up with our lesson. So, that's all for this now. Goodbye.